Okay, so we all want to live a good life, yeah.
Absolutely. It's fundamental.
But, figuring out what that actually means can feel huge. There's just so much advice out there.
Right. It can be overwhelming.
So for this deep dive, we've sort of done the digging for you. We pulled insights from Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot, DeepSeek, and Grok. Quite a mix.
And it's fascinating, really, seeing what these AI models trained on, well, basically everything, agree on when it comes to living well.
Exactly. It hints at some, core truths, maybe.
Suggests certain principles just keep coming up, yeah.
So our goal here really is just to pull out those main themes, the recurring ideas, and lay them out for you, clearly, hopefully usefully.
No dense theory, just the practical stuff that seemed to resonate across the board.
Right. Let's dive in. And wow, the first thing that just jumps out nearly everywhere is connections, relationships.
Oh, definitely. It's a cornerstone.
Hmm.
Claude mentioned things like support, joy, even purpose coming from those deep connections.
Mm-hmm.
And Gemini really focused on the work involved, the time, the effort, empathy, good communication. It takes cultivation.
Yeah, you have to build them. Copilot kind of summed it up nicely. Love, joy, belonging, pretty core human needs.
A very core. And DeepSeek brought up empathy again, but also active listening and kindness as ways to build those bonds.
But Grok really hit it home, referencing that Harvard grant study.
Oh, the grant study, yeah. Incredible longitudinal research.
Right, following people for decades. And the biggest predictor, like the main thing for long-term happiness and well-being.
The quality of their relationships. Not fame, not wealth, relationships.
Exactly. It really makes you stop and think.
It does. That long-term view is powerful. It's not just about having people around. It's about those deep supportive ties, built on trust, respect,
Yeah.
real care.
Totally. So for you listening, maybe take a second. Which relationships in your life really give you that support, that joy, worth appreciating them? Okay, so building on that idea of connection, the next big theme that seemed to surface everywhere was purpose, finding meaning.
Yes. And it wasn't just one thing. The sources described it in different ways.
Oh, so.
Well, Claude talked about fulfilling work, sure, but also creative outlets, maybe spiritual practice, or contributing to a cause you believe in.
Right. Gemini broadened it even more work, relationships again, helping the community, personal growth, all feeding into that sense of purpose.
Perplexity kept it simple, having meaningful goals.
Copilot pointed to work, passions, and helping others. Pretty common threads.
And DeepSeek mentioned aligning with your values and contributing to something bigger than just yourself.
Uh-huh. Then Grok brought in Aristotle, eudaimonia.
Right, eudaimonia. Not just happy, clappy feelings, but that deeper sense of flourishing, living virtuously.
And Grok had that really practical question, what was it?
What would make me feel proud to look back on?
Yeah. That hits differently, doesn't it? It's not just about the now.
Exactly. It pushes you to think about integrity, contribution, your own sort of personal legacy, even in small ways.
Mm-hmm.
And it often ties back to relationships, how we show up for others.
True. So the question for you then is, what activities really give you that feeling, that sense of purpose or contribution, something to chew on?
Definitely.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Underpinning all of this relationships, purpose is, well, being well enough to actually engage with it all. Health.
Absolutely fundamental. Couldn't agree more. And again, all the sources hit on both physical and mental aspects.
Yeah, they seemed linked. Claude listed the basics: exercise, nutrition, rest, managing stress.
Gemini got a bit more detailed. Balanced diet, regular exercise, enough sleep, but also mindfulness, stress management, and crucially seeking support, asking for help.
That's important. Perplexity specifically mentioned mental wellness, mindfulness, meditation, self-reflection.
Copilot just said, basically, healthy body, healthy mind.
Concise. And DeepSeek talked about exercise, diet, sleep again, but also actively managing mental health therapy, mindfulness, self-care practices.
Grok focused on exercise, sleep, mindfulness. Those seem to be the big three that keep recurring.
So the big takeaway seems to be they're not separate buckets. Physical health affects mental, mental affects physical.
Totally interconnected. You feel stressed, it shows up physically. You move your body, your mood often lifts. It's one system.
Right. And it doesn't have to be like running a marathon tomorrow, maybe just a small thing.
Exactly. Small, consistent steps.
What's one tiny thing you could do today, maybe, for your well-being? Even 5 minutes. Okay, another theme, and this one was kind of surprising in its consistency. Gratitude.
Yes. It was everywhere. Almost like a universal recommendation. Claude said basically, regularly notice the good.
Gemini. Practice gratitude for the good things. Perplexity. Make it a habit to appreciate life's blessings.
Copilot talked about appreciating small moments, focusing on the positives. DeepSeek. Regularly acknowledge and appreciate the good.
And Grok. Regularly reflect on what you're grateful for. It's unanimous.
It really is. And you can see why, right? It's about shifting your focus. Consciously looking for the good rather than dwelling on the bad or what's missing.
Changes your perspective. Makes you feel, well, more content.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Such a simple practice, but the impact can be quite profound.
Yeah. Maybe even pause right now, just for a second. Think of one thing, anything you're grateful for. Little mental boost.
Good idea.
All right, moving on. Another key idea was about not standing still. Continuous growth and learning. Like a good life involves evolving.
Exactly. It's not a static destination. Claude talked about embracing lifelong learning, getting new skills, challenging yourself.
Gemini expanded that personal exploration, new experiences, building on your strengths, pursuing passions.
Perplexity mentioned learning through, books, conversations, just experiencing the world.
Copilot kept it simple. Stay curious, seek knowledge. DeepSeek echoed that. Stay curious, be open to new ideas, new perspectives.
And Grok tied it to setting goals challenging but doable ones. Reference flow states, getting lost in something.
Yeah, flow.
And even gave that practical tip. Try one new activity or goal each week.
I like that. Keeps things fresh. Doesn't have to be huge, right?
Not at all. Try a new podcast.
Right.
Learn one new thing. Cook something different. Just keeps that growth muscle flexed.
So what's something you've been curious about? Maybe this is a nudge to check it out.
Could be. Now, connected to purpose, but distinct, was this idea of living according to your values, knowing what matters to you.
Ah, right. The internal compass idea.
Pretty much. Claude said, identify your core principles. Gemini, clarify your values. Perplexity, make sure your actions line up with those values.
Copilot mentioned integrity, kindness, empathy, acting from those places.
DeepSeek and Grok both just emphasized aligning actions with values. It provides that anchor.
Makes sense. If you know what you stand for, decisions become, well, maybe not easier, but clearer.
Exactly. Create that sense of authenticity. Less internal friction when what you do matches what you believe.
So maybe it's worth taking some time to actually think, what are my core values? What's really non-negotiable for me?
A very worthwhile reflection.
Now, while we're talking about striving and growing in values, there was also a strong reminder about balance.
Yes. Can't just go full throttle on one thing. Claude mentioned balancing ambition with just being content, social time with alone time, work with rest.
Gemini just said strive for balance everywhere. Copilot, work, play, rest.
DeepSeek, work and leisure. And Grok framed it as balancing those big three, meaning connection and growth.
So balance isn't like a final state you achieve and then you're done.
No, definitely not. It's dynamic. It shifts. What feels balanced today might be off tomorrow, depending on, life stuff.
So you constantly have to check in, adjust the dials.
Pretty much. Being mindful of the different parts of your life and tweaking things to find a harmony that feels right now.
Okay, that feels more achievable than some perfect static balance. Next up, something that connects back to relationships but also stands alone, kindness and compassion.
Huge. And directed both outwards and inwards. Claude said, be kind to others and yourself.
That and yourself part is key.
Crucial. Gemini talked about empathy, compassion, contributing positively, perplexity, small acts of kindness, the golden rule, basically.
Copilot mentioned acting with kindness and empathy. DeepSeek got really specific. Empathy, active listening, kindness, generosity, service.
It shows how multifaceted it is. But the core idea is that extending kindness, even in small ways, makes a difference. It ripples out.
For sure. And that self-kindness part, being gentle with ourselves when we mess up or struggle.
So important. We're often much harder on ourselves than we'd ever be on a friend. Self-compassion is vital for well-being.
Good reminder. Okay, nearly there. The last major theme was about dealing with the tough stuff. Acceptance and resilience.
Yeah, life isn't always smooth sailing. Claude had that classic wisdom, accept what you can't change, change what you can.
The serenity prayer, basically.
Pretty much. Gemini and Grok both explicitly named resilience as key. DeepSeek said develop resilience like it's a skill.
So it's about how we handle setbacks, bouncing back.
Exactly. Learning from adversity, adapting, not letting challenges completely derail you. Building that inner strength to weather the storms.
Right. So if we try and pull all these threads together, what are we looking at?
Well, it seems these sources, diverse as they are, point towards a few core ingredients. Strong relationships are huge.
definitely. Finding purpose and meaning in what we do.
Looking after our health, physical and mental, remember they're linked.
Practicing gratitude, shifting that focus.
Staying curious, always learning and growing.
Living in line with our own values, our own compass.
Finding that dynamic balance between all the different parts of life.
And practicing kindness and compassion for others and ourselves.
And finally, building resilience, accepting what we can't control.
That's quite a list, but they feel interconnected.
They really do. And crucially, as Gemini, Copilot, DeepSeek, and Grok all pointed out, what a good life looks like is personal. It evolves.
It's not one size fits all.
Not at all. DeepSeek said focus on what truly matters to you, and Grok's summary really nails it. It's about balancing meaning, connection, and growth. It's an ongoing process.
A journey, not a destination, like DeepSeek and Grok said.
Exactly.
So for you listening, having heard all this, what resonates most with you right now? Which of these areas feels like it needs a bit more attention in your life?
Maybe think about that one small step like Grok suggested with the weekly goal. One small thing you could do this week in that area.
Yeah, just one thing. Because ultimately, figuring out the good life isn't about finding a magic formula. It's about exploring, reflecting, and tailoring these ideas to your own unique path.
Keep pondering it. Keep exploring.